Donald Trump just gave what may have been the most psychotic and dangerous press conference in the history of the United States of America. He said that the United States is going to take over the Gaza Strip, will own it, and will turn it into the Riviera of the Middle East. Here, play this clip.
The U.S. will take over the Gaza Strip, and we will do a job with it, too. We'll own it and be responsible for dismantling all of the dangerous unexploded bombs and other weapons on the site, level the site and get rid of the destroyed buildings, level it out, create an economic development that will supply unlimited numbers of jobs and housing for the people of the area. Do a real job, do something different. Just can't go back. If you go back, it's going to end up the same way it has for 100 years.
Now, in this next clip, he says we're going to turn Gaza into the Riviera of the Middle East. And he says America's going to send troops there. Here, play this clip.
Up on what you were saying about the Gazans leaving Gaza, going to other countries. One, where exactly are you suggesting that they should go? And two, are you saying they should return after it's rebuilt? And if not, who do you envision living there?
I envision a world, people living there, the world's people. I think you'll make that into an international, unbelievable place. I think the potential in the Gaza Strip is unbelievable. And I think the entire world, representatives from all over the world will be there, and they'll live there. Palestinians also. Palestinians will live there. Many people will live there. But they've tried the other, and they've tried it for decades and decades and decades. It's not going to work. It didn't work. It will never work.
This is utterly disgusting and despicable stuff that we're observing right here. By the way, if you even start looking at Netanyahu, even Netanyahu starts looking like, are you really saying this right now publicly? Here, Donald Trump is asked by a reporter, so are you talking about troops? Are you talking about a permanent occupation? Listen to what Donald Trump says. Let's play it.
Thank you, Mr. President, Mr. Prime Minister. You are talking tonight about the United States taking over a sovereign territory. What authority would allow you to do that? Are you talking about a permanent occupation there, redevelopment? And Mr. Prime Minister, do you see this idea as a way to expand the boundaries of Israel and to have a longer peace, even though the Israeli people know how important that land is to you and your citizens, just as the space is inherited by the Palestinians as well?
I do see a long-term ownership position, and I see it bringing great stability to that part of the Middle East and maybe the entire Middle East. And everybody I've spoken to, this was not a decision made lightly. Everybody I've spoken to loves the idea of the United States owning that piece of land, developing and creating thousands of jobs with something that will be magnificent.
Now here, Benjamin Netanyahu, the prime minister of Israel, he's even saying, well, I think Donald Trump's looking into things. Netanyahu realizes that what Donald Trump just said out loud is going to literally implode the entire world and cause massive issues internationally with respect to everything. Here, play this clip.
I mentioned again tonight our three goals. And the third goal is to make sure that Gaza never poses a threat to Israel again. President Trump is taking it to a much higher level. He sees a different future for that piece of land that has been the focus of so much terrorism, so many attacks against us, so many trials and so many tribulations. He has a different idea. And I think it's worth paying attention to this. We're talking about it. He's exploring it with his people, with his staff. I think it's something that could change history, and it's worthwhile really pursuing this avenue.
Yeah, please go ahead. Go ahead.
A reporter then asks Donald Trump about Afghanistan and the Afghanistan situation. Donald Trump says to the reporter that you have a beautiful voice. And then he says, I don't understand anything you said. Here, play this clip.
Yes, ma'am. Go ahead.
As a high expectation from you. Do you have any plan to change Afghanistan situation? Are you able to recognize Taliban? Because I'm an Afghan journalist, Afghan suffered women. Any comment about Afghanistan? What's your future plan for Afghan people, especially Afghanistan?
I have a little hard time understanding you. Where are you from? Actually, it's a beautiful voice and a beautiful accent. The only problem is I can't understand the word you're saying. But I just say this, good luck, live in peace. Go ahead, please.
Yeah, no, this is quite literally, folks, the craziest press conference I've seen. This is Donald Trump once again. He says it over and over again. U.S. troops in Gaza. We're bringing the troops into Gaza. Listen to what he says. Play this clip.
And Mr. President, given what you've said about Gaza, did the U.S. send troops to help secure the security vacuum?
So Saudi Arabia is going to be very helpful, and they have been very helpful. They want peace in the Middle East. It's very simple. We know their leader and their leaders very well. They're wonderful people, and they want peace in the Middle East. As far as Gaza is concerned, we'll do what is necessary. If it's necessary, we'll do that. We're going to take over that peace, and we're going to develop it, create thousands and thousands of jobs, and it'll be something that the entire Middle East can be very proud of. But everybody feels that continuing the same process that's gone on forever, over and over again, and then it starts, and then the killing starts, and all of the other problems start, and you end up in the same place, and we don't want to see that happen. So by the United States, with its stability and strength, owning it, especially the strength that we're developing and developed over the last fairly short period of time, I would say really since the election, I think we'll be a keeper of something that is very, very strong, very powerful, and very, very good for the area, not just for Israel, for the entire Middle East, very important. And we'll, again, have thousands of jobs, and there'll be jobs for everyone, not for a specific group of people, but for everybody.
Here he goes again, making yet another statement about, he says, I strongly believe that the Gaza Strip should go through this process. He wants to move the people out. Listen to what he says. Play this clip.
Quickly. I also strongly believe that the Gaza Strip, which has been a symbol of death and destruction for so many decades and so bad for the people anywhere near it, and especially those who live there, and frankly, who's been really very unlucky. It's been very unlucky. It's been an unlucky place for a long time. Being in its presence just has not been good, and it should not go through a process of rebuilding and occupation by the same people that have really stood there and fought for it and lived there and died there and lived a miserable existence there. Instead, we should go to other countries of interest with humanitarian hearts, and there are many of them that want to do this and build various domains that will ultimately be occupied by the 1.8 million Palestinians living in Gaza, ending the death and destruction and, frankly, bad luck. This can be paid for by neighboring countries of great wealth. It could be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7, 8, 12. It could be numerous sites, or it could be one large site. But the people will be able to live in comfort and peace, and we'll make sure something really spectacular is done. They're going to have peace. They're not going to be shot at and killed and destroyed like this civilization of wonderful people has had to endure. The only reason the Palestinians want to go back to Gaza is they have no alternative. It's right now a demolition site. This is just a demolition site.
As our editor-in-chief, Ron Filipkowski, writes, I'm sure Americans at home and abroad all feel safer tonight now that Trump announced with Benjamin Netanyahu that the U.S. is going to take over Gaza, level all of the buildings, and forcibly remove the population. You might want to cancel any vacation plans you may have had to Europe. And by the way, before Donald Trump and Netanyahu did that press conference, Donald Trump said he was whining about not getting the Nobel Prize. Here, play this clip.
What would happen if you hear from the
They will
Israelis?
never give me a Nobel Peace Prize.
What would happen? What would happen if the Israelis?
I deserve it, but they will never give it to me.
And as we said on the MeidasTouch account, Trump during the election, no new wars. Trump after the inauguration, we're going to send the United States military to conquer Gaza, Greenland, Canada, Mexico, and the Panama Canal. Folks, we have a psychotic, demented individual with spineless Republicans who have allowed this to take place. We need to call out this despicable behavior right here for what that was. The most psychotic press conference, incredibly dangerous. Conquering sovereign territory, what he said about the Palestinian people. Shame on Donald Trump. Shame on the name of anybody who has put this person in power, who has allowed this to take place, who's brought shame on my once great country, the United States of America. What I just saw there was pitiful and despicable. Folks, let's get to 4 million subscribers right now. Everybody subscribe right now to this YouTube channel. We need to get the word out immediately. We need to rally together here against this. We need to resist stronger than ever and go on the offense together and call out this authoritarian regime that has taken over the United States of America. Shameful, shameful stuff. And to the rest of the world, to the Palestinian people, to peace-loving people, I am so sorry that this is what America has. We do not stand. Most Americans don't stand with this. We'll let our voices be heard. This is so horrific. Hit subscribe. Let's get to 4 million.
Can't get enough Meidas? Check out the Meidas Plus Substack for ad-free articles, reports, podcasts, daily recaps from Ron Filipkowski, and more. Sign up for free now at MeidasPlus.com.